Behind the music, behind the sound, it's more with the rhythm, it's going down. Behind the music, feeling it out. If it resonates, we break it down. Yeah.
Okay, peace and hello. I decided that now would be a good time to create a new series of videos. And I want, before I get into the details, I want to say that I think we've had enough conversations about AI music and whether or not it's considered art or real music. Like this series isn't about going into any deep discussions about that. And this is my personal. This is coming from a personal perspective, right? So this is my story, and the next series. I mean, this particular series will be about the music, right? You can call it behind the music, whatever. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but this won't be the last video. This will be the first of a series of videos that kind of give you a behind the scenes look at the music and not necessarily how it's created using AI, but more so the meaning of each song, right? The message behind the music, the message in the music, right? So I can personally say that for me, it was never about AI. It was never about trying to create an artist to replace real artists, right? And it was never about trying to deceive or trick people. And it definitely wasn't about cutting corners, right? My goal was resonance, right? That's it. I'm the type of person that's always written from real places, from grief, from love, from confusion, from being tapped out, from being hopeful when I had no business being hopeful. Like it just didn't even make sense to have hope, right? Like that's the poet in me. That's the writer in me. I won't say I'm a bit of a loner, but I've spent a lot of time with myself, just connecting with myself, right? And over the years, I can say that the tool changed, right? Because before, when I was younger, it was crayons and paper. Then composition and spiral books and pens or pencils. Then typewriter. I had to take typewriting classes in I don't know. I'm telling my age now, but I had to take typewriting classes, right? And then I remember we had keyboarding classes, and we had we had computers. And then before you know it, there was a cell phone and apps. And so I've seen the tool change plenty of times. And for me, I will write poems or just get my thoughts out any way I could. Sometimes on a napkin during happy hour watching a basketball game, like pen and paper. And so my notes app became my best friend on my, yes, I'm Team Apple, on my Apple phone. So my notes probably has a lot of poems that have yet to be shared, right? It's a lot of stuff in there, right? I said all that to say the tool is still changing, right? And for me, using AI, using Suno, It was just another tool. It's just another tool that helps me personally get those thoughts, get those words out. But you know what didn't change? The soul. Right? People are quick to say that, you know, AI music is soulless. And put the soul back in music, right? And I'm not here to speak about anybody else's music. You know, I know some non-AI songs, non-AI generated songs that don't have much soul to it, right? That's another conversation that I probably won't even be willing to have. But anyway, the soul didn't, right? So when I started using Suno, it wasn't because I thought I could outdo real artists, right? I wasn't even thinking about real artists. Definitely didn't see it as a competition or even a divide, right? If anything, it brought out the artist in me because I know I'm a real artist. I've been writing since I was a little girl. You know, I shared that in the beginning. Poetry, journal entries, lyrics. I believe in a good burn letter when you need to let some stuff go. Like I've always had this relationship with processing my life through words. And what AI gave me wasn't a personality. It gave me production. It gave me access. It gave me the ability to hear what was already inside of me. Because not everyone has a studio. Not everyone has a band. Not everyone has a producer on speed dial. And I have some friends that are dope producers. I have some friends that are amazing singers, right? But that doesn't mean that we don't have something to say. Okay? So I realized something. When people feel this connection, in this case to the music, a lot of people weren't connecting to the so-called perfection of the song, like how perfect it sounded. Yeah, there were some that were like, oh, the voice is amazing. I get that, right? But they're not responding to a machine. They're not responding to a robot, right? People are responding to a lived experience, to something honest, right? So in this series, I'm going to break down each song, right? I'm going to break down what I was going through when I wrote it, the lessons that may or may not be hidden in it, because sometimes it's not hidden. It's a message in plain sight. I want to talk about the belief I had to confront, the growth I didn't even realize was happening, because music for me has always kind of been like therapy out loud, right? And I'm so grateful that it's resonating with so many people, right? And that tells me that we're all processing something similar, right? So this isn't about replacing artists. It's about expanding access. It's about using tools to translate emotion. And at the end of the day, resonance can't be faked. If it hits, it hits. If it heals, it heals, right? And for me, that's what this thing called music has always been about. You know, if you listen to a lot of my songs, I talk about, you know, going in and writing, letting that stuff out, facing your shadows. I talk about heartbreak, right? You know, and a good friend of mine, he says it at the end of his videos. Mr. Samari Coles. He says, music is life, life is music, right? So for me, Olivia B. Moore, it's not about AI, right? The goal is to create art that resonates with other people who are went through, maybe about to go through something that I've gone through, and I'm able to share my lessons, you know? It's a way to have conversations that can be a little bit uncomfortable. Nobody wants to talk about healing. Not out loud, you know? No one wants to talk about heartbreak. Not out loud. But what's dope is being able to hear a song, hear music, AI or not, that speaks to your soul. That's music, right? And I'm grateful that I'm an artist who is learning daily how to speak from my soul. So that's all I have for now. In the next couple series, I think I'm going to start from the very beginning, from the first song I ever created, and break that down, which was Hack the System, right? And we'll see how that goes. I don't have a set game plan, but this is where I am, right? I want to talk about music, and not because it's AI. We can have that conversation somewhere else, right? But I want to talk about the power of music and resonance, why it resonates, why it speaks. That's it. As always, I love you all. Peace.